There's my mom. Morning, Mom. And she said she's back. It looks like we got 6 people in here waiting, or was waiting. Now we are live. Oh man, I think I went live about a minute early, but I seen there were 6 of y'all in here. Let me know if you can hear me and see me good. Hopefully it's all good. We haven't changed locations or nothing. Still sitting here at the same spot in the bus. Some things have changed in the bus. I got a wall up, if you guys couldn't tell in the thumbnail. So how's everybody's morning this morning? Oh, I only see my mom's comment, so I'm sorry if you guys are commenting and it's just not popping up. All right, we're in the live chat. So yeah, lots of things going on with the bus. I'll show you guys here in a little bit. I kind of want to wait for a few more people to hop in here. I just got my coffee done. Good morning, Tina Boxell. Oh, the chat's not scrolling for me. Elizabeth Rojas, good morning. Those emojis, I don't understand what they all mean. I guess we got a heart, and then we got a star swirl thing, and peace sign. It's all good, right? Myers Kids, what's up, Dave? How are you? I'm tired. My mom ought to be tired too, because I was up till about, I think, 1:30 in the morning, talking to her on the phone, just BSing. And yeah. Hello, David, and everyone else. Heather Hopper, good morning. Love, light, and peace. Okay, that's what that means. See, yeah, I am totally not, like, I guess in the in crowd or whatever you would call it, where you understand what all these new things like emojis mean, or like if people abbreviate things like away from keyboard. Like, I usually don't pick up on stuff like that. I look at it for a minute and I'm going, huh? My mind works a little different, I guess. I'm more geared towards like gearhead type stuff. Yeah. This building stuff with the bus though is like, it's challenging me. Good morning to you. Clapping, thumbs up, and fist bump. My mom said, me too. You too what? You're tired? You ought to be tired. I got up a little bit early this morning. I think it was like 5, somewhere around 5 o'clock or so. I got up and used the restroom, then laid back down, passed back out for a little bit, woke back up, and I heard my wife leaving, and then I decided I better get up. Good morning. And that picture, actually that picture was from last night. I meant to use the picture I took this morning where I was just laying in bed and took a picture of the wall. But I think I selected the wrong picture. I used the one I took last night and sent to my mom, showing her what all I'd done. Gearhead. Yeah. Thank you, Gene Ackland. Sandy Wilkerson, good morning. Got Tiny Tim Posey in here. What's up, man? He said, morning, everybody. I watered my coffee down just a little bit this morning so I could actually gulp it instead of burning my tongue. Well, I didn't really water it down. I just added some cool water to it to cool it down a little bit. Willis Dockery said, thunder and rain north of Atlanta. Good morning. Yeah, we had storms all night long. I probably went to bed a little after 1:30 in the morning. And I crashed out. I love this mattress. That Mobley mattress on Amazon. It's a 10-inch thick mattress. It's I think they call it like a hybrid. It's got different layers, like the bottom layer of foam's pretty heavy duty, and then the top, I don't know, a couple inches of foam is a little bit softer, and I just kind of sink into that, and I'm I'm pretty sure somebody could walk across the bed next to me and I probably wouldn't feel it. Uh, and all I know is since I got that mattress and I've been staying in the bus, I haven't been having any dreams. Uh, I fall asleep. I am completely out. You know, I don't even know that I fell asleep until I wake up the next morning. That's how well I sleep. I think typically when you dream, it's because you're not actually sleeping that well. So I really like that mattress. Um, my cousin said she can. Daggum fly, get off the camera. My cousin said she can talk to you about the embroidery. Cool. I was actually thinking about bringing that sewing machine out here, but unfortunately, with the critters and stuff we have in the house, I really got to watch it. Like, I need to like spray or fumigate the house before I bring any more stuff out here. I've already found some roaches in the bus. That is a nightmare. Luckily, there's like nothing in the bus for them to eat, and so yeah, hopefully I get rid of those pretty quick. I actually think the reason I got them in here was because I brought a electric heater, a space heater from in the house out here, and I didn't leave it outside for a day or two to, let them get out of it. I didn't even think about it. I just brought it in here. Next thing you know, I seen a few of them crawling around in here. That is not something I want to deal with in the bus. It's more of a battle in the house because of the cat food. Um, my wife leaves cat food in the bowl for the cats all day long, and the dogs they eat it too. Um, but unfortunately, the roaches they eat that too. But here in the bus, there's nothing left out for them to be able to eat. So Tina said, I left you a message on Facebook. Cool. Don Lee said, it's all good. Good morning, y'all, from Don Lee. I think Don Lee was telling me something about the embroidery stuff too. I'm pretty sure she was telling me that she knows a little bit about that. Um, what I would really like is if somebody could actually just do that for me. That would save me a ton of time because I don't know how to do that. Like, if I just had the file where I could just plug it in, and then if I had a step by step, like, put this color of thread in and hit go, and then switch it over, put this color of thread in and hit go or something. I mean, it'd be nice if it's that easy. I don't know if it's that easy or not, but excuse me. But yeah, I have the slightest clue about embroidery. I'm lucky to to be able to make a decent stitch that's not, all bunched up or something like that with a sewing machine. Um, I do have a video out there, or I did. I don't remember if I took it down or not because I got a lot of hater stuff on that video at one point that I was always having to delete comments because I was making masks for the mask up mandate stuff, and you know, dadgummit. The thing that was good about that is it taught me how to make masks, and the job I was doing at the time, I needed to wear a mask because of the dust and everything. And so it helped me, learn how to make my own mask and stuff that actually fit around your nose to where your glasses wouldn't fog up so bad. There was times like on a humid summer day that your glasses would still fog up. And so I finally said, you know what? It sucks to wear a respirator, but at that job, I needed a respirator to keep the coal slag dust out of my lungs. Tina said she would be willing to try and format. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but yeah, I mean, if you can get that or whatever, a file, uh, I want to just try out the Hood's Custom Shop. It's got 1, 2, 3 colors. Maybe if you could do an oval, around it, just a black border oval with a white background, green letters, brown handle, and a gray axe head of my Hood's Custom Shop logo. I'm looking at it on the computer screen here, with just a black outline around the axe itself. That would be super awesome. But I guess that'd be one, two, three, four, five colors: the green, white, black, gray, and brown. So something like that would be really cool. Um, Tina said, call her. Okay. I may have not got that message yet. Um, Elizabeth Rojas says, I'm still here making my coffee. I literally just took my first drink right before I hit the go live. I was rushing around this morning. I went in the house and fried up 2 eggs real quick for breakfast, made me an egg sandwich, threw a couple of pieces of ham in the skillet, fried those up, threw it on some bread, slapped some cheese on it, squirted some mustard on there, and then started chowing down. At the same time, while I was cooking the eggs, I was creating the live stream and putting the photo and everything up there. That's literally like how it happened. So it's kind of like last minute stuff a lot of times. I get up and I'm like, man, I need to do a live this morning. I don't know if I'm going to be doing afternoon lives anymore. It doesn't mesh well with what I'm doing, because usually I'm a kind of a late starter. I don't usually get up super early and start working usually early in the mornings. I do editing, things like that, kind of planning things out or whatever. And then in the afternoons, I'm doing work and I'm, actually filming and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's not always like that. It's a little different each day. I mean, like last night we had thunderstorms. I was up pretty late. Just I had my table saw, um, my chop saw, like a bunch of tools, and a 10 by 10 canopy out here um, over the concrete part, the front carport area. I guess it's not really carport, but that little patio area right there was covered with a canopy and had all my stuff out there. And it's been out there for a few days, and I was like, well, hopefully it won't rain. And then I was watching Tim at Ridge Life, watching his live last night, and somebody mentioned that it was storming over in Oklahoma. And I was like, what? So I looked at the weather, and I was like, oh man. So I had to go take everything down and just like shove everything into the wood shop. Now I can't even go through the door to get into my wood shop. Um, and everything is wet. It rained again this morning. When I first got up, it was raining out there. So yeah. Karen Spear, hello. Good morning. Got a motocross chick, Tracy, in here. Good morning. Cindy Brown, what's up? I really like this time of day for lives. Yeah, me too. It works for me. I don't get a ton of people in here, but it is what it is. Like trying to go live at 7 p.m., it just, I don't know, especially in the summertime, it's not going to work, because the further we go into summer, the more the daylight stays until like 9 o'clock at night, I think, at some point. And my problem is, if it's daylight in the afternoons, I'm usually out there doing something, unless it's just really hot and I don't feel like doing anything, then I might do a live or something. Uh, I'd really, I I like the idea of doing a scheduled live. That's why I try to stick to 10 a.m. type deal. But at the same time, I don't like the idea of going live at a scheduled time, because like then you feel really obligated to have some kind of like what you're talking about to be set up and ready to go. It just I don't like that. It's almost like trying to script everything, and I don't like that. That's not what a live is about. A live is about connecting with you guys and talking with y'all. It's not about being scripted or doing talking about one specific thing. If I wanted to do that, I would just do a pre-recorded kind of like what do they call those, the Crockers do it, a podcast, I guess, where I mean, I wouldn't mind doing like a live podcast type deal. I really don't know how to do it or what really the point is in it. Chris Reed said, all night. What's up, man? I'm guessing that is my cousin. Uh, is that you, man? Are you my cousin? Uh, I've never seen you in here before, but that's awesome. You need digitizing software to make a design that you can use on your machine. Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's pretty much like the digitizing software I use for the CNC router, um, but different. I'm pretty sure it would have to be a lot different because it's dealing with like stitching and stuff. But yeah, I just simply don't have the time to try and learn that stuff right now. I'm worried about building the bus right now, trying to get it done. I had someone actually reach out to me that wants me to build them a bus possibly when I'm done with this one. And I was thinking about that and I was like, if I was going to do something like that, I'd probably be better off just to sell this one and then buy another one and start building another one for myself. In reality, if I was to sell this bus right here, I would have to sell it for enough money to pretty much pay my house off. If I could do that, that would make sense because then I would still, I mean, my main goal is to become debt free. And that's why I'm building the bus is to, that is my goal is to become debt free. And that's why I got solar on the roof of it. It's got 600 watts panels, 400 watts of lithium iron phosphate batteries. That's plenty for one person. I can definitely get by with that. That should run a refrigerator, 24 hours a day. It should be able to, I would say it could run a refrigerator for at least 3 days with no sunlight, like rainy days or whatever. But I have to actually test that out in reality and see what that does. And I'd like to do other things like be able to be able to run like a sewing machine or be able to run like CNC router to make little projects or whatever. Little things I can do to sell, even if I was out on the road or something like that, maybe I could, stack up a bunch of cedar planks or something to be able to, make, signs for people or something like that, custom made little signs. And that was kind of the idea when I came up with the name Hood's Custom Shop, was actually just making like custom plaques and stuff for people. Let's see. Chris Reed said, "Good morning, buddy. Yep, it's me. I was just saying it rained all damn night." Yeah, that's my cousin right there, guys. That's awesome. Good to see you in here, man. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. There's Foreskins. Hello, looking like wet all day. Yeah, it's a good day for a coffee chat. Because I've been working on something. I'll show you guys real quick here. Look at that. I built the wall. That is the wall between the bathtub and the bed right there. I know that light's a little bright, but you can see I've got the hot water heater on the wall right now. It's just kind of temporarily there. And then you see the smokestack from the little wood burning stove that I got from Adam at Like a Bully Homestead. I don't know where to put that exactly. I was thinking of putting it right here where this table is, where I'm sitting. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I shouldn't try to put it right there by the bathtub. That'd be kind of cool to be able to sit back and soak in the tub and have a little fire. Yeah. Don't forget that thumbs up, folks. Thank you, Cindy Brown. Let's see. Motocross Chick said hi to my mom. Morning chit chat. Yeah. Don Lee said, send me a pic of your logo on Facebook. All right. Um, I also have the Dreamweavers, the Helping Hands Project Dreamweavers. I would like to do that one. So I think what I'm dealing with here is like two different people that would want to work on that. So maybe if one of you guys want to do one and one do the other, uh, that'd be awesome. Because I'd like to have a patch of both, or if any of you guys are uh, able to kind of design a logo yourself, like take the Project Dreamweavers, which is like a circle, you know. I don't actually have that hoodie out here. I washed it yesterday. It's in the dryer. But if you was to take that logo and put the Hood's Custom Shop over top of it, like a, you know, bend it like a rainbow or something, do something like that, that would be really, really cool. So we could incorporate both of those together into a patch. I think that'd be super awesome. But I'm not saying anyone has to do that, you know. You don't have to do that. But yeah, if I can remember, let me write that down because I will not remember. Send Don Lee pic of logo on Facebook. Man, I write slow. Super slow. Sorry about that. But yeah, I will forget it if I don't write it down. That is for sure. Like, and I may still forget it, so you may have to remind me. Send me a message, Don Lee, in Messenger or something to remind me. Lives are better to interact with your subscribers. Yep, that's what they're for. That's why I'm like, I'm not asking you guys for super chats or anything. Like, if you want to help me out, if you want to, you know, send a little bit of money or whatever to help with the bus build or anything like that, it's better if you send it through PayPal or something like that, because YouTube takes such a huge chunk. It's insane. And Facebook Pay is even better because they take zero out of it. But you pretty much have to, I think you got to like follow me on Facebook or whatever to be able to do that, or know what my account is, because I mean, if you're just sending it to someone with the name David Hood, I mean, there's a bunch of David Hoods out there, and you might be sending it to the wrong person. What brand is your sewing machine? I think it's a Brother. Pretty sure. I'm not 100. I haven't touched it in over a year, so pretty sure it's a Brother. I bought it back whenever the CV stuff first started happening. I'll also need to know what your hoop size is. Okay. Yeah. I'll send you like the model number and all that good stuff and pictures of it if I need to do that. Grumpy Grandpa Patriot Show. What's up, Mark? We outright on everything, and it is very liberating. What? Oh, I guess you mean you outright own everything and is very liberating. Yes, definitely. That is my goal. Like, and people need to understand that. Like, even Des, whenever she helped me out with the flooring and stuff, and you know, was talking about helping with other things on the bus, which I don't want to like ask one person to help me out on this or anything. I want it to be more of like a community effort, so a lot of people can be like, I helped him do that. You know, y'all, so many people have chipped in a little bit here and there to help, you know, keep this bus build going without me having to go get a job. There's a lot of days where I'm just sitting there going, man, I don't know how this is going to happen, but you know, I'm just walking in faith, thinking somehow it's going to happen. This is coming together. But you know, I was talking to Des, and she said, you know, you could sell that bus. She's like, don't feel obligated to keep it or anything like that. She goes, I know what buses are selling for right now when they're finished and built out. And a bus this size right here could easily sell for 100,000 if it's done right. Um, and So yeah, I mean, the person that was asking me if I would build them a bus, I don't know if they're wanting to spend that kind of money on a bus, but I definitely would like to work with them on, building a bus, but I have to make money doing it if I'm going to build someone else a bus. Uh, and on something like that, I would feel obligated to like just get it done as quick as possible. So videoing it probably wouldn't be as entertaining, like, moving the camera around and getting different shots and all that kind of stuff, like living in the bus. Uh, you know, I'm practically living in the bus right now. I don't do any cooking or anything in here yet. Um, but that's probably not too far away. I can't really live in here. I spend most of the day and every night in here right now to really get a feel for the bus, and I sit here for hours on end just looking at stuff and imagining a wall here and a wall there and how this would be and how that would be, and how I want it to be. Plus, living in it while it's cold outside really helps out a bunch with, you know, trying to figure out or get a feel for how much heat source we need, how much that's probably going to cost me, and that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm going to build a wall right here and basically divide the bus in half. I'm going to build a wall in front of the fender well right here at the rear fender or rear wheels. There'll be a wall on this side and one on that side, and there'll be a sliding barn door. And that way, in the summer, in the winter, in the extreme heat, the extreme cold, I can have a mini split air conditioner in the very back in the bedroom, and that will air condition the bedroom and the bathroom area, to make that, a place where I can go and be comfortable and be able to cool down. Or in the winter time when it's extremely cold, the diesel heater is back there, and it's a smaller area for me to heat. And then the only thing I have to worry about is the kitchen sink and the water lines going to it. So I'll end up, eventually, not right now, but eventually I'm going to put some fittings in, some valves, to where I can actually turn the water off going to the sink and be able to drain the water out of the faucet and out of those lines. So in the wintertime, I won't have to heat the front side of the bus. And when I get up in the mornings or whatever and I'm making breakfast or something like that, then I'll be able to heat it. Of course, I'm going to have the griddle and stuff in here to cook on. That'll help heat in the wintertime. The other thing is like understanding that I need to keep the top part of most of these windows open, as much as I can, to where I can open those up in the summer and spring and fall to just let the breeze come through, so I'm not using a bunch of power or whatever to run an air conditioner or whatever. Let's see. Foreskin said nice. Sandy Wilkerson said, wow, that's beautiful. Elaine Skelton, good morning. Looking great. Exciting. Yes, it is exciting for me. George Rikens, good morning. Chris Reed saying, good morning, y'all. Motocross Chick saying hi to Roberta. Roberta, good morning. I didn't see you in there. I think I missed you. Chris Reed said, how hard is it to hook up one of those tankless hot water heaters? It's not hard at all. The hardest part is actually plumbing the exhaust pipe through the roof. Let me take you guys over here and show you a little better. I'm going to flip the camera around. All right. So right here's what we've got. We got a 4-inch exhaust right here. Okay. Now the biggest problem is everywhere you see one of these window pillars right here, there's actually a rib. It's like a hat-shaped deal that runs through the roof. And so you definitely, you can look at this and see how that lines up. All right, now look where that is. It's going to be really close. But on the other side of the wall, I've got my emergency escape hatch. It's going to be right there above the bed. So I can actually maybe put a fan, like one of those Max Air fans right here. And the 2x4, these actually are not 3.5 inches wide. These are 2x4s that I milled myself. So that right there worked out really good. You got your draft right here where you can get your air going in, so you can get your draft going. This right here is what I'm using. I bought this right here. This piece from Lowe's is like $12 and something. This little storm thing right here, that's 5 something. And this right here was almost 20 bucks, I think. 16 something, I think, for that right there. So 1, 2, 3 pieces right there. And I got to cut a hole right up here and run that through. I'm really hoping, I haven't done the measurements just yet. And this thing right here is just, it's hanging right there temporarily because I may have to move it over. I don't really want to. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, but I'm hoping this right here is not so big that it interferes. I mean, you can kind of see here, I'm hoping it don't interfere with this hatch right here opening. It might be pretty close, but if I have to, I'll move this over. I'm really not wanting to because I got this little thing right here. It's a little wet. But I was thinking about putting that right there. This is really hard to try to do holding the camera, but I think you guys can see what I'm getting at here, right? So I can actually hang the shower up, just screw that into the wall like that right there. So that right there actually came with the tankless hot water heater. But the faucet that came with it, I'm keeping that one because the faucet that came with this thing right here is complete junk. I wouldn't use it for nothing. But anyways, so you can see the old blue tape line right here. That's pretty much how far my bed's going to come out. And the bed's going to be just over top of the water tank right here. And the bed should come out to about where this tape line is right here. So that'll give me room to walk around and be able to go out on the back porch when I get the rear bumper extended out right there. And it should give me enough room to have, you know, like the storage tank here for the diesel and the diesel heater right there. So yeah, I know it looks terrible there. Well, here's the back side of the wall, and I just cut a big hole right here to be able to access the plumbing and everything on the back side of the tub. You won't really be able to see that. And I got to finish framing up the wall, putting 2x4s in. The tub is now bolted to the floor. This thing, it is solid. It is bolted all the way through the body of the bus. So that's super awesome. These are your controls and everything right here for the temperature. I think you put some, I want to say C-size batteries in this right here. I think that runs the little temperature digital readout right there. And I think it also probably runs the igniter. And the biggest problem I had was I needed to order these fittings right here because the water fittings on this right here are not NPT, or National Pipe Thread. These are the same fittings that are on the bottom of your sink. So I just went on Amazon and I bought a package of 10 of these right here. And they just thread on there, and that's the shark bite fitting right here, so I can just plug the PEX in right there. What I'm thinking about doing is just having a short piece of PEX right here, and then a 90 goes through the wall, so I don't have, you know, a whole bunch of PEX, you know, coming down exposed right here and just being kind of unsightly. All right, and then a long time ago I actually ordered this right here. This is the propane regulator. I ordered this a couple years ago. I actually got this for my foundry, which I never finished. But anyways, I already got the regulator. And so all I needed to do to adapt to this right here was get a 1/2 inch gas valve to hook it up right here. And then it had the compression fitting right here on this end. So I hooked that in. Pretty easy. Let me get over here and sit down. The camera's killing my arm. And I can't see the chat. So let's see here. Get you guys plugged in here. Cindy Brown at Hood's Custom Shop. Where would the venting of the wood stove be easiest? Okay. Probably in the middle of the bus, because the more you're at the middle of the roof of the bus, the more flat it is. And the more you get to the side, the more like curve it is. Let me show you something real quick. I gotta go over here to the sink and grab it. Oh. All right. So for the venting on the bus, I ordered this a long time ago. This is a high heat silicone roof vent thing. Probably better than the one, that little metal one I got for the hot water heater. But I couldn't find one locally that was 4-inch or whatever. This one right here is too small for the 4-inch. But this will actually work for that little stovepipe on the wood burning stove. And then eventually, if I want to, if I get a bigger wood burning stove, I can actually cut this down. It's got different things right here. Got some hardware, the clips right there that I guess you can actually put on this piece right here. And then use self-tapping screws, and you put that, I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a, I don't know, the sealant stuff that you just, you know, put a bead of that all the way around this and screw it down to seal it up. So, I mean, technically, this right here, I could put it anywhere on the roof because this bends and you can shape it to fit the roof wherever. So the only thing that I would say, like when you're doing something like that on a bus or a vehicle, is you want to try and put it on the driver's side of the vehicle. You'd never want to have a chimney or anything like that sticking up on the passenger side, at least in America, because we drive on the right hand side of the road, and that's where tree limbs and low hanging things are, and you're going to end up hitting a tree limb or something. It'll rip your smokestack off, bend it, or whatever. So you definitely got to think about that. That's something that was just kind of self-evident to me, you know, from being a truck driver for so many years, like, and going into cities like Chicago and stuff, going down through there, and you got trees, you know, scraped in the side of your truck and everything. And so building a bus, I was like, I know definitely not to put anything sticking up on the passenger side. My mom said, sorry, making coffee. Tiny Tim Posey, morning. To Roberta. Paul Honeyman, hello from England. What's up, Paul? Hope you got you some coffee going. Motocross chick, waiting for you to share your talent at Tiny Tim Posey. Yeah, come on, Tim. Just do it, man. We know you can sing. Just pick a song, turn the camera on, and sing to us, man. Come on. You can do it. I tell you what, when I think back to what it was like for me to put my first video out, I didn't even look at the camera. Like, the camera wasn't looking at my face. I didn't talk to the camera. I didn't say a word. My son was holding the phone over my shoulder, watching me running a reloader. And to put that first video out, I was scared to death. I was like, man, I'm going to get all these haters, and like, people are going to, you know, I'm going to get all these bad comments and blah, blah, blah. I don't want that, you know? So yeah, I completely get it, what it's like to put your first video out. I mean, for one, there's the learning curve of, you know, learning how to edit video. And then you see all the BS comments on everybody else's channel. And that's kind of how you know when you're actually getting somewhere, is when you start getting those BS comments, like people, you know, hating on you or saying stupid stuff to you. It's not usually hater stuff. It's just a lot of times, and sometimes I guess it's taken the wrong way. Like, I'll get a comment from someone and I'm just like, do you not think I know this? You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I totally get it. If I was to try and sing on camera, I mean, I can't sing for the life of me. But you know, if I was to try to sing on camera or do something like that, it's really hard to do. Just like bringing out the hillbilly woodsman, you guys, you have no idea how difficult that is. And sometimes I just have to say, you know what, screw it, let's do it. Once you get that concept or that mentality in your head that you're like, when you just say, you know what, I don't care what people think. This is my dream. This is what I love doing, and this is what I'm going to do. And you just do it, and then you get those awesome comments from people that are like, man, I'm dealing with this, and this in my life. And watching your videos actually helps me take my mind off of losing my husband or losing this or, you know, this that's going on in my life. You get those comments, and that makes it well worth it. And I was watching Coffee with the Crockers this morning, and what they were talking about, you know, why they put their PO box out there and everything is because, you know, they get those, you know, like people will send them a letter or whatever telling them stuff like that, and maybe send a picture or something. That stuff just means so much to a creator. You know, it would to anybody, right? uh, this is not just me and a screen. I'm literally talking to people who are real life people, like literally there's family, people who are actual blood relative family of mine in this chat right now watching. So they haven't, you know, like my cousin Chris hasn't probably seen me in years, uh, in person or whatever. And so this kind of helps like be able to connect a little bit. Um, and then there's the aspect of like making new friends and everything. This is YouTube is like, I don't know. It's basically, you know how MySpace was, and then that was kind of crap. And then we got Facebook. I think there was a few others in between there. And now YouTube with the video aspect of it is basically kind of the next Facebook, you know, kind of thing. And everyone's trying to get everyone onto it. Yes, so, you know, most people are only going to do it for fun and do it for the connection type thing. But you know, then there's other people who actually do it for a living and can make money at it and stuff. Yes, I make a little bit of a paycheck from YouTube each month. I never thought that would actually happen, but you know, it got to where I make just a tiny little bit of money on it. And I've actually seen what others have made on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, this could actually be something, and it's something I want to do, you know. uh, if it could get to the point where I could actually live comfortably off of it, and you know, everything I make off of YouTube goes back into making YouTube videos and then some. You know, a lot of money I make off of the sawmilling and stuff like that, that goes back into YouTube. um, I've When you look at it from a business perspective, I've actually made nothing off of YouTube. I would actually have to start making thousands and thousands of dollars a year on YouTube for it to even actually start paying back what I've already invested into it. Because I haven't kept track of how much I've dumped into YouTube, like buying camera equipment, SD cards, external hard drives, laptops. This is my second laptop now, but I've had it for a good bit. Um, the first laptop, I ended up giving it to my daughter because it just could not handle the editing and stuff. You actually need a pretty decent laptop for video editing. I'm probably way behind on the chat. Uh, Don Lee said, "You've been busy." Yeah, every day I try to mark something off that list. I've got a list of to dos, and the other day I got 2 things marked off of it in one day. LOL, I get here when I get my notifications. Tim, don't call me Shirley. I read about how to do it, but after an hour of research, you basically need a picture of the image without a background. Then you gotta digitize it from JPEG format to some other format. It's crazy. Yeah, that's the same thing I gotta do when I carve something. I took Mama V's. Hang on, I'll grab that here real quick, just so you guys have a visual. Oh yeah, check it out. The Payne family, guys. Go check them out. They haven't uploaded in like forever. But go check out the Payne family on YouTube. But anyways, like this right here, that was a lot of work. This is Possum Run Homestead's logo. This isn't exactly the layout of it, but I went on the interwebs and I downloaded all this artwork, and then I went in because there's actually a lot of lines going up and down for the boards. And when you carve wood, you have to do work to that. You can't have a whole lot of detail. So I really need to repaint the rest of this because that part turned out shinier than the rest because I had to repaint it. But yeah, that's the same thing I got to do. I go through several different programs. I'll start off with like Paint Shop Pro, and let's see. No, I don't start off with Paint Shop Pro. I start off with Inkscape, and I will do a trace bitmap, and then I save it as a Cairo, and then I take that into Paint Shop Pro so I can save it as a bitmap or a BMP file. And then I take that into a digitizing software that actually turns that into the G code, which is kind of the same thing that a embroidery machine is going to use, but it's for my CNC, so it's definitely got to be a different program. So you put that in there, and it makes the G code for it, and then you bring that file into Universal G Code Sender, which is just a program that actually sends, feeds that G code into the computer and makes the thing do its thing. It took me a while to learn that. And I get a lot of people who watch my older videos of the CNC carving and everything, and they're like, man, you need to do how-to videos on this. Like, so many people, they buy these, the cheaper Bob CNC routers, and they don't know how to run them. And I'm like, I still don't know how to run mine. I'm still learning. There's people doing 3D stuff with theirs, and I'm still doing the 2.5D or the 2D stuff. Elizabeth saying, hi, Paul. Having a background isn't really that important, Elizabeth. Yeah, I actually have a background eraser on my phone. I actually have a file on my phone of the background already erased. I don't think it's, yeah, I don't know. Is it showing up right down there on the screen? It should. I don't know if it has it on there, but I know in my videos it automatically puts the watermark on there. I don't see it on my side, but that's how I done that. I just use the Hood's Custom Shop logo, remove the background, and I put it on there. But I do have that file to be able to send it. But yeah, I mean, I think I would like for when I get it made, if we can do just like an oval, with the Hood's Custom Shop in there, have a black ring around the oval basically for the border, and then white stitching in there would be great, I think. Or I could figure out a different way to where I don't have to do so much stitching. I could probably just use a white fabric or something to embroider on. My other cousin, Chris's brother, he's got a company over there in Oklahoma. Huge shout out to him. It's Custom Tents and Tarps, or Custom TNT. It's over by Afton, Oklahoma. It's actually in Afton, Oklahoma. It's really close to the Buffalo Ranch. I've been by it a few times, but I haven't actually went over there and checked it out. But yeah, he's got an awesome business over there, and just seeing his success and everything, I'm just like, heck yeah, man, heck yeah, keep on after it. I love that. There's Eric Greenhorn 1 Acre. What's up? Hi, Eric. Cindy Brown said, Eric, happy Friday. Have you guys watched Greenhorn 1 Acre? That guy, he is building a cargo trailer out kind of like I'm building my bus, I guess to live in or whatever, a bug out trailer. I don't know. I don't know why he's building it necessarily, but I have my suspicions. Getting ready for the crazy stuff that could possibly happen in this world. That's not exactly why I'm building the bus, but it is part of it. I do kind of try and prepare for things. I've always kind of been a prepper at heart, I guess, but I'm not I'm not an extreme prepper, I just try to be prepared for things that I feel are very likely that could happen. And moving off into the woods and being able to be away from the huge droves of crowds of people and that sort of thing, and being able to be self-sufficient, having solar on the roof, so I never have to have gasoline for a generator. Just basically being able to live off the land and provide for myself, being self-sufficient, really appeals to me and appeals to a lot of people, especially with the stuff going on these days. uh, we've never seen the kind of thing happen in this country that we've actually seen happen in other countries. I guess let me put it this way: the things that have happened in other countries that have actually caused war to break out, those things have already happened here. I don't want to be political, but this kind of goes political, right? It has very much to do with the politics and what happened when Dumbo got into office. We know that that was BS, plain as day. There, he was not legit voted into office. I mean, we know that, right? So when that kind of thing happens in another country, war breaks out, right? Eventually, all heck hits the fan and war breaks out. I don't know that war would actually break out here, but we kind of see the reset happening where the elite are basically kind of beating people down, making them get jobs working for way less than what they used to work for. Um, it is the great reset, guys, and it's here. It's happening right now. Everything is resetting. We're being turned back into time, and what I can see is it seems like right now we're almost back to the economy that we had back when I was a kid, and things weren't so great back then. Um, and I don't know how bad it will get, if it'll get any worse or not. But an economy can only get so big before it has to be broken back down to build back up, right? Otherwise, there has to be a lot of crazy natural disasters and things like that in order to create the jobs and everything that needs to happen in order for an economy to keep thriving. Because if everybody was debt free and uh, all their homes were built and they didn't, if their home didn't get tore out by a tornado or an earthquake or something like that, then they wouldn't need to build again, right? And then all the other industry that supports that kind of stuff and the building and everything becomes stagnant, and that's a problem. So I kind of see this as like a reset where they have to do these things in order to keep an economy growing over and over again, because it can only really grow so big before it has to be squashed like a bug to start growing again. And that's what I see as the great reset. What's going on right now, it's kind of scary. And we got the hyperinflation and everything. Like, these big companies are still making tons of money. People are going to work for less money than before the CV happened. And so now they're going to work for less money than what they were making before. It's just it's the reset, I think. Paul Honeyman said, "Please, people, remember to stroke your thumbs up to show support and stop abusing your keyboards." This has been a special announcement, or this has been a public announcement, or public whatever, I can't remember. Yes, it's Friday. I need to get my project finished before my work weekend. You only work on the weekends? Man, I'm thinking I like Greenhorn's job. Unfortunately, to have his job, he has to kind of live somewhat close to society. Otherwise, he'd have a pretty big commute every day. Let's see, I got one from mom's house and it's all digital, like it wants to know latitude, longitude, all types of crazy s. uh, Dang. Paul Honeyman, remember people to torture Tim at Tiny Tim Posey to get his ASS into gear and start posting more. Yep. Yep. Tiny Tim, I've already told the people you can sing, dude. So now, I mean, come on. Let's do it. Just do it, Tiny Tim. Make a video. Even if your voice is scratchy and cracks up like mine, like I'm in puberty or something, uh, go ahead and just post the video and you'll get better. You do better on the next one. Motocross Chick said, I'm excited for you and your channel at Tiny Tim Posey. Heck yeah, I know that he's gonna go places with that. All he has to do is do it. Paul Honeyman posted Greenhorn 1 Acres link in there. Remember to show at Greenhorn 1 Acres some love. Yes, definitely go check out his channel. And also, after this live, you guys might want to go check out Ridge Life's video that he posted this morning. There is some somewhat gruesome content in there. He tried to blur things out to where it wasn't like real bad, but yeah, it's a video that will get your blood pumping a little bit. Yeah, the guy, my comment on there was basically, man, Tim, you are a great guy, because basically it's like a lesson from the Ridge, basically speaking to how to be a better man, basically, and not do what I would, most people, or even myself, if I was in the situation, I'm trying not to give too much away about his video, but if I was put in the situation that he was put in, I would have went out and probably just handled it totally different. I would have gotten rid of the problem, which might have involved a night vision scope or something. But yeah, you need to go check that out if you haven't done so already. It's a good video to watch, and what you could take from it. Kind of, it speaks to the type of person he is. Dave, it's a construction zone. It's expected to look messy. Yeah, it's a construction zone that I'm living in. Look at this. There's my bed. I've been staying in here every night. See, that first night I stayed in here, I was like, yeah, it's not too bad. The next night I slept in the house in my bed, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just sleep in the bus from now on. The mattress is freaking awesome. It is super awesome. Paul Honeyman said, Cindy Brown, for shame, stop abusing your keyboard, young lady. It's not a replacement for when the kids misbehave. My mom used to whoop my butt. I guarantee you. It wasn't abused, but when I done something wrong, I got my butt whooped. I had to learn not to misbehave. David, have you seen those beds that slide up towards the roof when you're not using it? That would be cool, and you would save on space. Thoughts? Mine won't actually. It won't rise up like the travel trailers have. I've seen some toy haulers that have the bed that raises up when you're not using it, so you can walk under it or whatever. But mine, I'm gonna have storage, like basically kind of a dresser underneath. Like you seen where the water tank is. In front of that, I'll be able to actually have totes in there of clothes or tools or whatever to slide in and out right there. But the bed itself, I plan on having on hinges, so I can actually raise it up like with a prop rod or whatever, and get it up, up to the roof out of my way, so I can get in there and work on the water pump or the diesel heater or whatever. So I do plan on having it be able to lift up, like it'll just tilt up like the bed in a semi truck does, or most semi trucks, I guess. because my Peterbilt didn't do that. But other trucks I've drove, they had like the gas shocks on it to where it raises up and you can access the toolbox under there and everything. But I think that might be something you guys need to go check out Greenhorn One Acre, because I think that might be his next project. I don't know. If you watch his channel, you already probably have a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, Paul would be all over a used finger. Motocross Chicks is looks great, Dave. You're making huge progress. Yep, it's huge. Paul. These dadgum flies. I've got to get some screens on the windows. There's my brother right there, Terrence Hood. TJ, what's up, Dave? Good morning. What's up, man? Paul Honeyman said, hi, Cindy. I grew up once, but it didn't take. Growing up is overrated. Paul Honeyman said, brother Terrence is in the house. Brother TJ. I feel weird calling him Terrence. I did not call him Terrence growing up at all. None of us called him Terrence. It was TJ. Cindy Brown said, morning, Terrence. And I always want to spell his name with 2 R's. I'm like, your name is spelled wrong. It's supposed to have 2 R's in it, but his is 1. Cindy, you may as well crawl into a coffin when you stop laughing as a good fart joke. Life without humor is not a life. Yeah, definitely. Greenhorn One Acre said, beyond. My mom said, no #1. This is for anyone. Don't worry about others. Just do you. Yeah, I think my last live I did, I may have lost a friend because when I say something, like I made the comment of, when I make a live video and I rant about something or whatever, like don't call me up afterwards and moan and groan about it, thinking that I was talking about you or trying to single you out or something. I kind of feel like, because Ed called me after one of the lives that I did, and because of a comment I made or whatever, and I kind of feel like he may have thought I was talking or directing that at him, but in actuality I was talking about someone else who had called me wanting me to basically take a video down because of something I said. And I mean, I simply just told the truth, and if a person doesn't like me telling the truth, maybe they should be a better person. Maybe they shouldn't have done what they did. They know dang good and well what they did, and there's other people out there in this community that know what they did. And I ended up taking that video down, and I probably should have just left it up because it was 100% the truth. But yeah, I'd made a comment on another video after that that I ended up taking the one before that down, and Ed thought I was, directing it at him, and I wasn't. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. Ed, whenever you get a chance, man, give me a call. But he's actually working right now, so. Oh, that hillbilly woodsman is to die for. Look forward to seeing him again. I think I actually got that here in the bus somewhere. Yeah, I do. Not to mention if you were to figure in hourly wage. I'm lost. Let's see. Chris Reed says, you're doing awesome, Dave. You always was a crafty fella. Yeah, I mean, that's like, there's my cousin Chris right there telling you guys, like, me on YouTube is literally me. Like I'm not a different person on YouTube. Maybe I am a little more outgoing and talkative, like especially in my lives, than what I am in person. Like in real life, in person, I am very like shy and very kind of to myself and quiet and stuff. And like people have met me at meetups and stuff where I'm just kind of sitting there all quiet and, you know, almost said the S word, but um, I'll be, you know, kind of quiet and to myself. I'm not like usually the kind of person who goes up to people and starts a conversation or whatever. Um, that is just not me. It takes somebody to come up to me and start a conversation, and then I reciprocate. You know, I actually can, you know, talk with people or whatever. So I am very much out of my comfort zone when I go to a meetup and I just start talking to people. You know, that is something that YouTube has kind of helped me out with and kind of pushed me to, you know, start getting out there and talking to people and stuff. But TJ, you said not to mention if you were to figure in an hourly wage. I'm guessing maybe you're talking about the bus, like selling it. If I was to sell it, um, I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not. Let me know. Have you ever seen my Self Reliance channel on YouTube? Yes, Chris James. I've watched him. Like I try to watch almost every video, but yes, I definitely watch his channel. Um, I can't watch every video, but I definitely do. He's building an 8-foot log cabin off grid. Yeah, again, he built a cabin, an outdoor kitchen, all kinds of stuff um, before, and then he had some issues with people who bought neighboring property and was causing problems. And I guess they found out he was a YouTuber. He ended up having to get rid of that property and move again, and now he's basically starting over again. But yeah, or not Chris James, Sean James, that's his name. But yeah, I watch my Self Reliance for sure. I really, I love the video he did where he went to Dick Pernecki's log cabin up in Alaska. Uh, you know, I think Dick Pernecki was on like PBS or something like that many, many years ago, wrote books and everything on basically the same kind of stuff like what I'm basically doing right now. It's not what I'm doing right now, what I'm kind of getting into. I'm not necessarily building a cabin, I'm building a bus. But, you know, trying to be, you know, self-reliant. So yeah, definitely watch quite a few channels on that subject. Don Lee said, if you getting haters, you're doing it right. Yeah. The more success you have on YouTube, the more haters you're going to get. The more people, and you know, like one person had made a comment like, "Do you really need a butt, or do you really need a tub in the bus since you're going to be by yourself?" And not that that was maybe necessarily a hater's comment, but to me it felt derogatory. So I mean, I could have been taking it wrong, but you know, that's very easy to do with any text message or whatever. You don't really know what someone means behind that, good or bad or whatever. Um, but I mean, so you can kind of take a text message however you want almost, but you know, something like that. And I guess maybe with the mood I was in that day, I was just like, you know what? No, I don't need a tub. Matter of fact, I don't even need a bus. I could live under a bridge and take showers in the rain, you know. Let's be honest here. I don't need anything. But having things like having a sawmill, you know, that makes it a little easier to go out and cut a tree down and mill it up into lumber and build your own cabin and not be paying, you know, $800 every month. I mean, let's put this into perspective. If you were able to use a hammer and nails and you had $800 every month of income, and you could go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards or whatever uh, and buy lumber and nails and stuff, $800 every month. Could you imagine over 30 years the empire that you would have built off of that? You can nail a lot of boards together for $800 a month, and 800 and some odd dollars a month is what I pay for my mortgage. Um, that is a lot of money. I've already paid way over 100,000 for $150,000 house, and I still have 20 some odd years to pay on this house at 800 and something a month. Uh, when I actually done the math, I sit down and did the math on buying this house. The house originally was 150,000, right? Or right around in that ballpark, 150. Okay. Over a 30-year note, I will have paid, if I just pay it out on scheduled payments, I will have paid over $300,000 for a $150,000 house. And it's technically, I mean, in reality, it's you can build this house for probably, I would say 80,000. You should be able to build a house just like this one, if you was to build it yourself and just buy the materials. Yep, the haters are just jealous. That's what it seems like for sure. Let's see. Does anyone else have trouble understanding all this technical stuff, or am I the only idiot here? What technical stuff? What are you talking about? I don't think I've talked about anything technical really, other than like the CNC stuff. Like, I don't even fully understand it. My brother TJ probably understands it way better than I do. What? Haha, I'd 10 T errors run rampant. I don't know what you're saying there, Donley. Are you doing voice to text? Voice to text don't work. Don't see no watermark. Okay, I must be way behind. Let me try to start catching up here. Paul Honeyman, David, I pray you Americans never give up. Your Second Amendment. Britain's biggest mistake was giving away our firearms. Yep. Yeah. If you guys are watching this and you make that personal decision to not have pew-pews or whatever, that's up to you. But I strongly advise you to research what has happened in history to countries who have given up their right to have that tool that can actually protect their freedoms. I'm pretty sure we won't ever give that up. I mean, the other thing is, like, I would say even in Britain or whatever, even though they gave that up, the technology's still there. I mean, we have 3D printers, and if you are educated enough to use a machine or a 3D printer, you can literally print things. You can cast things out of metal. I mean, there's a lot of people who are able to take a raw material, melt it down in a foundry into a billet, and machine it. So if you was to use a 3D printer, you can actually make your forms and cast it and produce things that may or may not be legal or whatever. You can make your own, right? Well, since the technology is already there, and making things like I don't want to say keywords that would get me demonetized, but this product that came originally from the Chinese that was made with batwana and stuff, like, there's products out there you can buy off the shelf to actually make that powder, that flashes. I don't know how to say this, but you can make that stuff, and there's literally videos out there on YouTube that shows you how to do it. YouTube is a huge thing that people can use to learn all these sorts of things. But what I'm getting at is, it's possible to make all the stuff, even if they quit manufacturing everything. They're not going to do that, for one, because they like that tax money that comes from it. What I see happening is they're going to tax the heck out of the cartridges to where you pretty much can't afford it anymore. And for remanufacturing or whatever, they're going to make it to a point where you cannot afford to do that either, or you can't buy the little caps that go in the bottom end that makes it, I mean, that's the hardest part to produce. And you can actually, there's videos out there showing you how to remanufacture those. Take the old ones and turn them into reusable, or reuse them at least once. It's not safe. It's definitely dangerous. I know enough about it to know that I shouldn't be one messing with that. But if you can get those little caps, let's just call them caps, but I don't want to say the P word on them, because YouTube might figure out what I'm talking about and I get demonetized. But anyways, public service announcements. I can't even talk. A public service announcement is what I was trying to say earlier. That's how far I'm behind in the chat. It's terrible. Let me see if I can scroll through here. I totally agree with your thinking on Tim's issue, David. I would have also hunted the issues. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like, I have a bobcat out here that attacks my chickens. Luckily, I have an older rooster now that's out with them, and I've got two hens that are pretty good at, protecting themselves. I think one is a Rhode Island Red, and the other one is a black sex link or red sex link. I'm not sure. But I notice now when I crack the eggs open that they're fertilized. So I need to get a incubator, and so I can start hatching them out. And that's one thing I want to do with my solar setup, is I want to see if I can actually run an incubator this summer, when it gets a bit warmer, so it's a little easier to keep them warm and, grow the chicks. But if I can run an incubator in the summertime off of my solar system, that would be super awesome. But I definitely need to start hatching a few more chicks out, because as y'all know, it takes, once you hatch them out or whatever, I think it takes like 6 months or so before they start laying. And with two hens, that's basically just enough to give me breakfast every day, or most every day. All kids need to learn not to misbehave. Yep. And I'll tell you what, man, I remember growing up with my cousin Chris and his brother and my brothers. And I remember one time that we were over at the place where his mom lives now. It was actually our uncle's house at the time. And I remember there was an old station wagon out back behind the garage. Lots of glass in it. It's like a wood-sided station wagon, if I remember right. It may not have had wood on it, but for some reason I'm thinking it did. And I remember just standing there while a few of my cousins went around with like a tire iron and rocks and stuff and knocking the windows in on that thing. And I was a little bit older, I guess, so I was kind of held accountable. But I didn't have anything to do with breaking any glass. And I remember, I think it was my grandma or my mom, I don't remember for sure, but one of them was like, when they found out what had happened, they're like, go get a switch. And I went and got like this dry stick. And I think it was my grandma that went out there, and she cut a switch off of, it seemed like it was a willow tree or something. But whoo, I tell you what, that thing did not feel good at all. I found out you definitely want to pick out the right switch, because if they pick it out, it's going to be bad. My mom said, so happy for you, David, to have your new mattress and decent, much needed sleep. Yeah. My eyelids aren't covering up my eyeballs anymore. Fallen Arkansas Veterans, good morning. Says, still trying to wake my brain up. I woke up before it did. That's Cindy Brown. Ben's Over Acres, morning. Man, we got foreskins in here. We got Ben's Over Acres in here. You guys and your channel names. Paul Honeyman, and sorry people if this offends you, but I believe a parent has the right to discipline their own children without government interference. Exactly. I mean, there's been a time or two I've been in Walmart and see a parent discipline their kid like a little bit excessive, and I just kind of gave them the eye, like, you know. But I kept my mouth shut, right? Because I mean, it really wasn't abuse, but it was a little bit excessive. The punishment did not really match kind of equally with what the kid was doing. Um, my kids, literally one time there was this old lady in Walmart, and my kids were messing with stuff on the shelf, and I'm like, stop messing with that. And then they're dancing around, acting up, making a scene and everything. And I think it was my oldest son, and I just went pop upside the back of the head, right? Didn't hurt him or nothing like that, but got his attention. And this lady just looks at me, and I looked at her and I said, "You want to be next?" Yeah, she just and turned around and walked off. I'm like, "Hey, you want to call DFS? Go right on ahead. We're going to have a problem." Because my biggest fear as a parent is to know that I failed my kids. If I knew that I failed my kids and they grew up to be a hooligan and just doing BS out there in the world, I would hate to know that I was a failure as a parent, and failed my kids. Let's see. Paul Honeyman agreed. Discipline is not abuse. Those are different things. Yeah. And the good book says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child," but mine never got a rod. What? What do you mean? No, we got like a switch, we got a fly swatter, we got a belt. I mean, she didn't beat the crap out of us, I guess, but if we screwed up, we dang sure knew about it. Don Lee said, "Kids grow up much more respectful when you can whack them when they really need it." Yeah. Listen up, you snowflakes. David picks on me because I let him know. Have I been picking on you, Paul? Paul Honeyman, ha ha ha, shy, he says, ha ha. Yep, believe it or not, I am. Like the last meetup we had, I had, I think it, let's see, dadgummit, I can't remember their names. Man, that's sad. I can't remember someone's name. My brain has farted. But anyway, someone that you all know came up to me at the meetup and was like, "Hey, why are you so quiet?" I'm like, that's just me. That's just me. Even like out at the 41.36, I wasn't like super outgoing or anything. Like, the other thing is that y'all probably don't really know about me. When I get around a bunch of people, there's a lot of commotion. It's like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a sensory overload, I guess is what you might call it, where I just want to go like kind of be somewhere else that's quiet. Which, I mean, like right now, it's very quiet in the bus. If you guys didn't know, all you can really hear is a little electric heater over here running and me talking. And so I'm a little more opened up whenever I'm in a quiet setting or whatever. When there's a lot of noise and stuff going on around me, like a lot of people talking, I tend to kind of shut down a little bit. I don't like crowds. That was one thing I mentioned to the Crockers and like Annie Ann and them when they were talking about having this shoot dang fest at the casino. And I was like, I'm picturing like a casino with all the bells and whistles going off on the machines, and I was like, man, that just does not sound like a good setting for a meetup. And they had commented back, so I think it's the perfect place or whatever. And then they changed it. It's going to be at a motel. I forget the name of the motel, but you guys go check out the Crockers and Shoot Dang Ranch and all that, and you can find out all that information on there, when it is and where it is and all that good stuff. Hopefully I can make it to it. Still working on trying to get the funding together to get the bus legal and fuel in it and everything. That's going to be very expensive, but I think we might have it done enough to be able to take it to Shoot Dang Fest. I just got to get it legal and everything. So I think it's going to cost somewhere close to $500 just to get it legal to where I get tags and stuff on it so I can take it down there. I would hate to actually just drive it down there on a out of date paper tag, but I've done crazier things before. Um, I would hate to get a ticket. uh, Gene Ackland, and that's the truth. What are you talking about, Gene Ackland? I do speak the truth though. People are so sensitive anymore. Yeah, because their skins were never toughened as kids. Mine was. I tell you what. Uh, yeah. You sure he wasn't on PMS, or is that something different? um, Cindy Brown said, I personally take great pride in the fact that I get compliments on how my 17 and 19-year-old act, and all my nephews and nieces act better around me than around their own parents. Yeah, I was blessed with some really great kids. They actually have grown up to be pretty stinking good. And I think, honestly, that started off with when they were young. You know, if they done something bad, stupid or whatever, they got their butt whooped. And I didn't just say, I'm going to whoop your butt if you do this, or I'm going to whoop your butt if you do that, and not make good on that promise. I actually done it. You know, I would say, get over here, and I'd spank their butt. And you do that out of love, because if you don't do it and they think, well, there's no consequences, then they do whatever. But at the same time, you don't like want to get onto them for every little thing they do, because you want to raise kids who are willing to actually get out there and take risks and do things in life to be successful. You don't want to discipline them on every little thing to where they're afraid to do anything or go out there and take a risk, or to I mean, you don't want someone who is going to be like the mask wearer. It's like, oh, I got to do this. I have to conform to this, and I got to be this way. The government says to do that. You don't really want that. You want someone who's willing to push the envelope, and who's going to be willing to, do their own research and figure things out on their own and learn all the time, and create their own business and be happy, rather than say working for someone else per se. It's one thing I've learned from a few people I've worked for, and seen the way how they raise their kids, and how their kids were successful and stuff, because they actually were given a little freedom, and to go out in the world and explore a little bit and not be afraid of failure. Yes, failure sucks, and I'm afraid of it. Like what I'm doing right now, I am super afraid of failure. It is like one of the scariest things I've ever done. And if you think about it and put this in perspective, like what Simple Life Reclaim and Country Road Cure have done, selling everything, moving like states and states away to buy a piece of land and follow their dreams. Do you guys even realize, like, they could have totally failed? They could have invested all this money in that property and then not have the money to build. They took a huge risk to really get out there and do what they're doing, and try to make YouTube a thing for them, and to see their success and everything is it's super awesome. And that's one thing I really like about their channels, is sitting there watching this success story of what they're doing and how they're getting there. And it until I started watching SLR, I didn't really have like a clear path. I knew where I was today and an idea of where I want to be tomorrow. And somebody had said something to me one time, and I don't know who this quote comes from, but I had heard this from someone, and it really stuck in my mind. And this is what really kind of set things in motion in my life and made me start changing things in how I invested in things and everything, decisions I made. And what it was is, someone said, is what you're doing today moving you one step closer to where you want to be tomorrow? And I thought about it, and I thought about it for years. And eventually it became evident to me that the answer to that was actually no. I found myself in a semi truck out there on the road and doing what I thought was my dream, but at the same time, I had somebody, uh, you know, stealing from me basically, that basically stole that whole dream from me. And, it was actually a blessing, believe it or not, because it made me wake up and realize that, what I was doing, the dream I was trying to follow, really wasn't my dream. And so it actually made me start taking the steps in my life to actually change the direction of my life. And that's why I'm where I'm at right now today, is because I've made a decision to actually say, you know what? I'm going to change this because I'm getting out of the rat race. I'm going to become debt free, whether it kills me or not. I'm going to make it happen. So just that one little statement of someone putting that little seed in my mind, if you want to call it that, is what you're doing today, moving you one step closer to where you want to be tomorrow. And if you start thinking about that every morning and you start making your decisions in life with that in mind, then you start making decisions that actually change your life. Um, so I mean that was the big thing that really changed things for me. I'm just gonna have to okay, there's the bottom. I wasn't too far. Wow, I missed a whole bunch. I better scroll back up a little bit here. Don't raise your children to be sheep. Exactly. Exactly. Don Lee, he's incarcerated now. What? Huh. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happens. I mean, no matter how you raise them, they are their own person and they will make their own decisions. And you know, I know a lot of people who have made bad decisions in their life and they've ended up in prison for it for a little while. And then they get out, they turn their life around, and they just, they start living their life. Um, I'm not saying you got to be try to be a perfect person or anything, but if you go out there and you just straighten your act up and start going in that direction, stick to it, and just be a decent person, then you know what? The whole world benefits from it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that end up in prison. It doesn't make them a bad person. It just means they made a bad decision or whatever. Um, the thing that I hate is there's a lot of people in prison that don't necessarily belong there. I honestly feel like there's just a lot of people in prison that should not be in there because whatever they done really wasn't that bad. Um, yeah, the system is screwed up for sure. Mm. And Overacre said, I fell all the time. I just regroup and move on. Yeah. I mess up on lives, talking about stuff, and I get a little too real. And then I look back on it and I think about the things that I said. Maybe, they were true or whatever, but at the same time, it's stuff I really don't want to put out there, and I end up, pulling the video down. I got to stop doing that. That's kind of my problem with on the live stream. You guys, you see the real me and the unfiltered. I try to, filter out curse words and things like that. In real life, curse words slip out of my mouth, believe it or not. But I try to keep it clean on here. So yeah, I do filter that. I do have a little bit of filter on my mouth, but yeah. He got 4.5 years for pepper spraying a guy. See? Was it that bad pepper spraying someone to get 4.5 years? What the heck? I'm guessing he pepper sprayed a police officer to get 4.5 years. It must have been an officer. Uh, man, cops can't even take a joke no more. Just trying to be funny. Let's see. Fallen Arkansas veteran said, "I raised my kids to stay away from drugs. One did, the other one didn't, and now he doesn't anymore. Thank God." Yeah, I mean, I smoked marijuana back in high school a few times, and I figured out real quick it was not for me. Um, I didn't really get much of anything from it except for like basically motion sickness and throwing up, and I hate throwing up. And yeah, I don't like getting drunk because I don't like feeling dizzy. That's one thing I absolutely hate doing. Um, so drinking ain't for me. There's no drugs out there for me. Uh, yeah, I guess I was fortunate, to not like any stuff like that. Don Lee said he has already come to his senses. Chris Reed said prison was the best education I've ever been through. Right? Like, you don't want to go back to that crap. That ain't no fun, right? Don Lee said, yes, it was. Let's see. Cindy Brown, my husband, says that meeting me is the only thing that kept him from prison. He was going that way for a while before I met him. Yeah, I can understand that. As long as, like, the person you meet in your life, if they make you a better person, then that's probably the person you need to be with. It has aged me, but has worked wonders for him. Yeah, I mean, but people have to be a little bit adventurous or whatever. Sometimes, I mean, if you was to follow every law in the book, you're not gonna be super successful. Um, yeah, I can't really talk about a lot of things on here, but yeah, we don't all always follow every law by the book. I mean, it probably wouldn't be nothing that would end a person up in prison or anything, but you know, you can't follow every rule in the book. Man, I've already been on here an hour and 37 minutes. Dadgum. Let's see how much coffee I got. I got like half a thing in here. And the coffee's good. It's like really, it's nice and warm to where I can actually drink it. Hell no, that's why I haven't got a traffic ticket in 25 years. Yep. Uh, let's see. Man, it's been a good minute since I had a speeding ticket. For sure. I try to, you know, I try to stay out of trouble because trouble costs money. What else you guys want to talk about? I'm at the bottom here. Let's see if I missed anything up here. Maybe I shouldn't have skipped to the bottom. Yeah, I think I got all those. Yep, let's see. Paul Honeyman, my kettle is on for my first pint of coffee for today. Pint. Why you call it a pint? Come on, Paul. I think 99% of the people in here are from America. We don't say a pint, but that's kind of interesting. A pint of coffee. A pint. My first gallon of coffee. This is, I don't know how much is in here, but it's way more than a pint. Patty Price said, Chris Reed, this is why I get tickets for speeding. I don't like to ISTE. I guess that, listen, I don't like to be, I'm trying to guess what that word is, Patty. I can't even remember the last time I got a ticket or even pulled over. Oh, I don't like to be last. If you ain't first, you're last. I call it a pint because my daughter got me a pint mug for Father's Day. Cool. Well, there you go. He explained it. You guys call it a pint or a liter, all that metric stuff. Like, look at this. There's my tape measure. It's upside down. Cindy Brown says late, I think, is what Patty meant. Yeah. Don't like to be late or last. That's not metric. Paul Honeyman, David at Patty Price don't like to be late. Yeah. I actually got to meet Patty Price over there at Crazy Ed's. That was awesome. But we had to take plywood back to Lowe's and get other plywood. And then when we got back, she was gone. I was like, dang it. We missed out on getting to hang out with Patty Price. Yeah, motocross chick said late. Cindy Brown said late, I think is what Patty meant. Probably. Cindy Brown, pint is imperial, not metric. You're right. We don't use pint too much over here, I don't think. I think I use like cups and whatnot more often than like pint. I guess are those little things of milk or pints. Betty England said, I was thinking brown jug. Late. Paul Honeyman, wow, David was checking on Patty Price's, but hello. Yeah, what's the fuel prices in your area? Now that it's got me thinking on that. Ben and Jerry's comes in pints or gallons or half gallons. I don't get Ben and Jerry's, unfortunately. I used to haul it. Ben and Jerry's good ice cream. I didn't really care too much for hauling ice cream because like that is a high value load, a very high value load, and if your refrigerator unit on your trailer messes up, it's bad. Fallen Arkansas veteran said, I hate metric with a passion. I don't mind it. I actually had to learn more about it, using like millimeters and stuff with the 3D printing. Everything in 3D printing goes by millimeters. You can convert it, but it's better just to keep it in metric. I think it's just more accurate, I guess. But I mean, it's simple. Metric is very simple. It's not that difficult. It's just trying to convert it is a problem for me. Paul Honeyman said, fuel prices are too bloody expensive. They're too bloody expensive. Cindy Brown says $5.89 for the cheap gas. Diesel was at $6.79 this morning. Woo! I don't even know what the expensive stuff is, but the last time I went to the gas station here in town was $3.69 for the cheap stuff, and that's all they sell at the gas station here. There's the Casey's here next door to that one, which I don't go to. They have like premium and all that stuff, but I just go to the place that's got that cheap stuff. That's all they sell is cheap stuff. Let's see. Stephen Carlson said $4.41. Where are you from, Stephen? Are you over in Oklahoma? I'd seen where you had made a comment in the Crocker family group, something about having to get a train coming in or something to go to Shoot Dang Fest, and that got me thinking. I was like, where the heck is Stephen from? Gas prices. Let's see. Paul Honeyman said 1.57. I'm guessing that's euro per pound, a liter. for petrol, and diesel is 167 a liter. Yeah, and then you do like the conversion, like a liter's not even a gallon. It takes, I want to say it's like 3 point something liters per gallon. I want to say, I could be wrong, or maybe it's 2 point something. I'm not sure. But yeah, you got to do all that conversion and everything. So I think that's probably, it's going to come out to $3 or $4 or pounds per gallon. Probably pretty close to the same price. Yeah, there's a huge, like, having to do all that conversion, figuring it up, like how many liters are in a gallon, and then the exchange rate, like Canadian money, doing the exchange rate. Like last time I traveled into Canada and dealt with the exchange rate, I'm pretty sure 50 cents Canadian thereabouts was $1 American. So like you would put $1 into a machine to get coin out. You put in a US dollar and you got I think it was, I want to say it was like $4 coins that came out, something like that. It was like 50 cents on the dollar or something, I think was Canadian. So they pay a higher price for something, but when you do the conversion rate, it's way cheaper American money. So I don't even look at the price anymore, Chris. Yeah, I put, what was it, $20 in my gas tank in the pickup the other day, and it was $3.69 a gallon, and it barely hit a half a tank on my gas gauge, and I was like, dang, that sucks. I mean, I was getting down pretty close to empty, but if I fill it all the way up, it normally, with prices at 2 something a gallon, it cost me around $70 to fill up from a quarter tank. Now it would probably be at least $100. Cindy Brown said the thing about computer stuff being metric is funny because all monitors and stuff CO by DPI or go by dots per inch. That is funny. Metric is so much more accurate. Not really. Everything is accurate. It's just a different way of dividing up however many lines in an inch or in a set scale or whatever. And they all add up. I mean, just metric seems to be broken down into much smaller measurements. Even though I don't think like decimals is necessarily metric, but fractions, you can, it's just math. I mean, metric or imperial doesn't really matter. I don't know, like I'm used to using like thousandths of an inch, decimals, and figuring out what the equivalent is in fraction or whatever, doing machinist stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just a different method, and I think honestly the math with metric is probably easier than what imperial is. But honestly, I can't really form an opinion on it because I just see them all as a way of measuring. I don't like metric thread pitches, and some of those actually line up with the SAE or imperial. One thing that really got me was doorknobs. If you was to get an old style doorknob that has the little square bar that's threaded on just the corners of the square bar, like the old, you can still go buy these at Lowe's. All right, like get the old doorknobs with the crystal doorknob, and it has the square bar that goes to the door. Okay, I did a little woodworking project where I took a door panel off of a cabinet for someone that came from an old house of theirs, and they wanted a coat rack that had these crystal doorknobs on it. And so I needed to fabricate something or buy bolts to fit those. All right. And these doorknobs are made in America, not made in another country. They're literally made right here in America. And the thread pitch is actually metric. And it's a special size. Uh, well, it's not metric. It's actually the thread pitch. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I took a tool and measured the thread pitch, how many threads per inch. Uh, it is an actual uh, imperial measurement, but the standard imperial bolt sizes with, like, say, a 3/8, and 3/8 is 18 threads per inch, right? That's the standard. But a 3/8, you could actually machine it, like with the lathe that my brother TJ has now. You could actually put whatever thread pitch you want, and I literally thought I was going to have to make my own bolts to make this project even possible. And I was only going to make like $60 on the project, and it was like, I'm going to end up having $60 in bolts or something just to try to make this thing, or I'm going to have to weld up, like literally take the little square rod and cut it in half and weld a washer on it or something. And I'm trying to work this whole problem out in my head. I'm like, why can't I just buy a bolt that will fit into that knob and screw it on there for a coat rack? I mean, it seems like it would be the simplest thing in the world, but you cannot buy that size of bolt, that diameter, with that thread pitch. It's not standard anymore. Standard, things is very nice. It was, really nice when someone came up with the idea to have standard sizes. Now, if the entire world would get on the same page and say, okay, this is what we're going to use as far as bolt sizes and pitches of thread and everything, to where things would interchange easier, it would make total sense. But I think they do it for other reasons. In manufacturing, it's, competition kind of makes it that way, I think, to where some companies use this, some companies use that, to where things won't interchange. But when Ford, Henry Ford, when he started making things, when they were building these cars, to where everything was done the same, and everything interchanged, where this part on this model year would interchange with this part on this model year, it made things make sense. But later on down the road, years later, they figured out, well, it's causing a problem, because now, with salvage yards and everything, people are able to keep these vehicles on the road for a very long period of time, which means people don't buy new cars anymore. And that in itself right there actually started raising the price on a new car. And that's where we're at today. They're coming up with new ways in engineering to make it to where you can't work on the cars anymore. So you got to pay a mechanic, or you have to buy special tooling. Every new car that comes out, there's like a new tool that the mechanic's got to buy to be able to work on that vehicle. Like my wife's car, she needs to do a tune-up on it. And I told her, I said, well, we can just gap the spark plugs. And then doing research on that, the way her plugs are made, you cannot gap them because you'll break the thing on there. So you just have to buy new spark plugs. And I said, well, there you go. Another thing that they come up with to make it to where it's harder to just fix a spark plug to last you, even longer. You can just re-gap it. It's a marketing thing, I guess. Stephen Carlson said, DeKalb County in Illinois. I know exactly where that is. Oh, DeKalb. I built a skateboard park in DeKalb, Illinois. Yep. There was, let's see. It was right after 9/11. Right after 9/11 happened is when I was in DeKalb at a motel there that was owned by a Middle Easterner. We call it something else, but I'm not going to say that because I don't want to be racist or anything, and that's probably a racist word. But anyways, we were staying in one of them motels, and Yep, I built a skateboard park in DeKalb. Uh, Motocross chick said, Stephen Carlson, I am in Andrews, Illinois. Yeah, and Motocross chick was trying to come out there to um, Crazy Ed's and like had vehicle problems and stuff. And she told me where she is from, and I looked it up on the map, and I was like, holy cow, that's a long ways. I was thinking, oh, maybe she's over by St. Louis or something, like not real far, but I mean Chicago, that's a it's not Chicago, but close to that. I was like, that is a long ways to come out to help, build someone's cabin. That's crazy. Diesel was $5.25 a gallon yesterday. Whoo, dang. Yeah, that's getting up there. 2 hairs past a knuckle. Standard sizes are like common sense. Very rare these days. There's the Mel lady showing up. What time is it? It's 11:55. She's a little early today, I think. Here lately, other than a few days, like she's not been getting here till like 1 or 2. Dawn Lee said $20 worth. Where were you traveling to the next pump? No, it was literally to go into town and get the exhaust pipe or the chimney for the hot water heater. I had to go into town and get that. Thanks to someone who wants to remain anonymous. Thank you. You know who you are. Motocross chick says population 28. That almost sounds like the town I live in here in Goodman. Is like that's more than 28, but oh, you mean population 28 in the live? I'm showing 29 right now. Tiny Tim Posey said, I'm back. No phone signal. Finally came back. Now we got 30 in here because Tiny Tim came in. I need to drink some of this coffee. My mom's saying, got my mail at 7:30 this morning. Daggum. I remember when I lived over there in a town not too far from where you live now, Mom. It seemed like our mail usually came in the afternoon. But I guess, it's going to be different. They run pretty much all day long, and it's different whatever area you live in, I guess. Don Lee says, welcome back, Tim. I wish I could find, I want to say it's mastic. I do have some of that. It's like a roll of that stuff. But it's kind of old. I got it from my father-in-law, which he got it from an auction, which means it probably sat on a shelf in the warehouse where he worked for a few years, and I don't know how good it is. It might still be good. I don't know. But I may try to use that. I think it's called Blackjack. It's like a roofing tar in a caulking gun tube. And that's what I'm going to use on the little deal like this right here. If it wasn't raining and threatening to rain today and tomorrow, I would probably go ahead and mark out the hole in the roof and maybe start drilling some holes to see exactly where that's going to come out and see if it'll work. I really don't want to have to move that wall towards the back of the bus anymore because you guys seen just literally how close it is to that emergency exit thing. Like, I tell you what, I did not plan this stuff out, but I mean, it's coming right down to the wire on having it between the emergency exit thing and the rib in the bus. I'm not wanting it to get into the rib of the bus. I mean, I could actually cut through that and it wouldn't be a huge deal. I just really don't want to. Not that I'm worried about it weakening the bus or anything like that. because the strength of the bus honestly is in the frame of the bus. There's a huge frame underneath these buses. The body of it, also provides a lot of strength too. Um, yeah, I was talking to my mom, and we were talking about everyone who makes comments on how heavy the bathtub is, and I was like, man, why are people so hung up on how heavy the bathtub is? I'm sorry, Donnelly, I'm not picking on you, uh, but yeah, she said something in the last live about it, and I wasn't like trying to go off on you or anything, but I've gotten so many comments on how heavy the bathtub is. They're like, why you got that big old clawfoot bathtub in there? That's super heavy. It's going to cost you a bunch of money and fuel. And I'm like, really? Uh, have you seen other people's bus builds? How much wood they put in? I mean, a 40 or a 30-foot interior, and see all this right here? That super light styrofoam right there. All right, you see these other bus builds where they put this, like 3/4 inch thick tongue and groove pine in their bus, and if you was to weigh that, how much that is, I mean, that's a couple thousand pounds. And I actually did the math last night when I was talking to my mom. I was like, okay, the bathtub weighs like, I want to say maybe 200 pounds, maybe 300 if we're really pushing it. Uh, but then the water tank, right? And I was talking about the water tank and it being 75 gallons. So with it completely full, it would weigh, let's say, 600 pounds. And I was like, I could put 50 of those 75-gallon water tanks in here. I could literally put 50 of those in this bus. And then I did the math on that, and that was only like 3,000 something pounds. I'm like, that's still not a big deal. The bus can handle that too. It wouldn't be a big deal to have 3,000 something pounds in this bus because we could literally go up to like 32,000. Let's see, 20 for the rear axle, gross weight on the rear axle, and 12.5 on the front. So that's 30, 40, wait, no, 20, 32. 32,500 pounds is what I can legally put on my axles and, for ground pressure, right? Uh, so yeah, 32.5. We're not even going to come in close to that. There's a lot of people who build their bus out. They don't have any concept of weight, and they just build their bus. They put all kinds of wood inside that weighs a ton of weight. I mean, yeah, the bathtub is kind of heavy, but I'm not putting a bunch of wood on the roof and making it super top heavy and all that kind of stuff, because that will definitely affect the handling. I do plan on putting a rooftop deck on the back, which is going to add some weight up top. It's not a huge deal. It's not going to be a huge deck on there. Uh, I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be like, I want to say 4 foot off the back end because the bumper or the porch is going to be 4 foot, but I may not extend it off the back end on the top. Uh, the thing is, what I'm looking at is where that emergency hatch is back there. It's going to be right in the middle of the floor. Um, but I'll probably just have something that I can like drop in right there and latch it down or something. So it'll be just a deck. And if I want to, I can actually unlatch that and remove it. Um, but I definitely want to have a deck up there, and I want to have some poles that I can put in place to hang a couple of hammocks or whatever up there. So I mean, I think that'd be super cool to be able to just hang a hammock or two up there on the rooftop deck and just sit up there and chill out. I think that'd be really awesome. Let's see, Paul Honeyman, LG Homestead just going live, David. Oh, dang. I didn't know that they were going live today. Possum Run Homestead, what's up? Said, hi, y'all. Love taking a break from all the projects. Dreary day here. It's kind of the same thing here. Let me turn you around. Let's see. Oh, we got the cord hanging up here. Yeah, it's kind of rainy looking. There's, uh-oh. All right, we're back. my hot water heater, I think that's where it's going to go. It's just hanging up on a screw right now. The bathtub is mounted to the floor. I got a piece of plywood across it, kind of my little workbench. So this right here is what it's looking like. And this right here, that, I don't know if I want to cut that insulation off and keep this open. This right here is actually, that piece of insulation right there I've already cut out, right? And so I've blocked out this section of window, and the toilet's going to be right there. And then we'll have this emergency exit window that we can prop open. The nice thing about those is you can prop them open and you don't have a bunch of rain coming in if it's raining. But right here in the bedroom area, I was thinking about putting like a dresser right here, or like storage. But I don't know, maybe I want to cut that down right here and just have curtains all the way along that. I'm going to be using that green tarp. You can barely see it right there. I think I'm going to use that green tarp material and sew some reflectics to it and just have a pipe or something going across here. I may actually just screw it in right there, and then along the bottom have it to where I can snap it down, and also have it in sections to where I can roll it up and have certain windows open and certain windows closed. I'll probably just sew like a loop in the bottom of it and put like a dowel rod, like a 1-inch diameter dowel rod or something in it, so I can actually just roll the curtains up and have that reflectix probably maybe in the inside of it. I'm not sure. But just thinking about that is, yeah, I don't know. I've kind of seen what Mama V done on her curtains. Like, it looks like she actually has curtains in there, or is it towel? I think it was like towel material, maybe that you use for curtains. Which that's actually what my grandma done on the '69 Chevy that's out here in my yard. There's a camper on it, and years ago, she actually had, she would buy like hand towels that had like a cool print or whatever on it, and she just sewed, like looped them over and sewed it to where she could put it on a curtain rod. And I want to say she had clothespins clipped onto the bottom to actually hold, like hold them down. And then where the seams were, where this hand towel and this hand towel met at night or whatever, she'd take those clothespins and pin the hand towels together to kind of block out light, or prying eyes or whatever. But yeah, super resourceful. Seeing how you kind of done some of your stuff. It's awesome. And Mama V, if you guys didn't know, she actually built her bus out herself with her own 2 hands, and that is super awesome. She didn't have someone build that for her. She used like pallet wood and stuff like that, which, let me turn you around here again. This this wall right here, before I actually mount that permanently, I'm actually going to do the boards going across right here. We're going to be using the red cedar and the hedge, that yellow hedge wood. I'm going to cover this whole wall with that right there. It'll be like an accent wall. And then right here, there's going to be a wall that comes out probably in line with the bathtub right here. And then this blue tape right here, there's going to be a wall that actually comes back and then goes over this way. And the toilet, we're going to frame this out with a flat floor here. And the composting toilet will be in this area right here. And you'll have that window up there to open for fresh air, and that one right there. But I'm leaving it, framed in up to right there. So this bottom part of the window will be blocked out. So you'll be able to see out and have a little bit of privacy, be able to open the window and everything. Another thing I want to do is eventually tint these windows probably a little bit darker. So, yeah. Hopefully that explains a little bit of what I'm doing for y'all. David, stop picking on Don Lee. Don Lee said, more than a stone's throw away. Don Lee says, nobody can pick on me. I had a brother. She's a tough cookie then. Gene Ackland, okay, this chick is punching out of work. Thank you, Dave. Made the rest of my work go by fast. That right there is what I'm talking about. That makes it all worth it. You guys, if you can pop in some earbuds or whatever while you're working and listen to me talking BS on here, and it makes your day go by so much faster. Just listening to me talking about whatever the heck I'm talking about. It made your day go by better. It helped you get to clock out time. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's awesome. I love hearing that. Super awesome. Uh, Don Lee said, "Oh, and you were an angel, Paul." uh, yeah, Paul never picked on nobody, right? Paul Honeyman said, "LOL, Don. Nope, I'm the eldest. LOL." Betty England said, "Tiny Tim, awesome. I'll be watching." What did I miss? What Tiny Tim say? Um, let's see. Tiny Tim said, "At Betty England, I have not got my songs copyrighted yet, and I need equipment. I only have my phone, need tripod, etc. Plan on doing a intro video." Cool. Um, but in the meantime, you can do a cover of, let's say, like a song that someone else did, and you can do a cover of that. You can sing someone else's song. I'm pretty sure it, do, it doesn't like mess with copyright as a cover. I guess I don't know everything about it, but I know there's a lot of people out there that do the same thing. Like they sing other people's songs. But I mean, if you're wanting to do your own songs, that's great too. Um, but don't be afraid to do like a cover song of, a cover of a song, I guess, um, that someone else wrote or sang or whatever. Cindy Brown said, "Are you going to tint the windows?" Believe it or not, they're already tinted. But yes, I want to tint them a bit darker, um, especially probably like in the bedroom area. And the thing is, like that one section that I have right there, that I haven't fastened the top of that. Like, see these little black little things right here that fasten them to the wall. I haven't done that with that part yet because I'm really on the fence on whether or not I should cut that off, because I want to be able to just roll a curtain up and be able to see outside and make the bus feel more open. When I build this wall right here by the fender wells, that's going to really divide the whole bus up, and it's not going to have so much of an open feel to it. And I want it to have more of an open feel, but at the same time, I don't want to spend a fortune trying to heat the bus in the wintertime and stuff. And then again, in the summertime, I want to be able to open the windows and get a breeze, flowing through. I want to be able to open the windows and maybe put a max air fan back there in the bedroom. I don't know. I might just put a max air fan up here in the front part of the bus, because the back part, I really kind of want to keep that open to where I can get up on the deck without having to go out through the back door. Yeah, I just really think that's what I want to go with. But I think I missed something here. Possum Run said, "I used canvas drop cloth for curtains." Okay. Now that, thank you. Now I'm on to something, because I thought I was going to I was wanting to use canvas, something durable. And, I've already got a couple of these green tarps from Harbor Freight. That's like the cheapest place I can find to get those canvas tarps. But yeah, I could I know how to get a discount at Sherwin-Williams, and so I can actually go buy drop cloth at a huge discount. I get like 25% off at Sherwin-Williams, because I used to work for a paint company, and it's actually when I use his name, it helps him out. It's basically another sell for him, so he doesn't mind me using it. Every time I go buy paint from Sherwin-Williams, which I don't really do anymore because I have to drive all the way to Joplin to do that, I don't think we have one in Neosho. I'm pretty sure we don't. Um, but I don't like having to drive all the way to Joplin just to, save 25%, which is, it's a good amount. But, having to drive an hour to go save 25% is kind of a big deal. Um, but anymore, like the paint that I got for the bus, I went to Lowe's and found a paint I can get there that's actually pretty cheap. I want to say it's like $16 a quart, $33 I think. It's right around there, 30 something dollars for a gallon. And 1 gallon will actually do, it should do the entire roof. I bought 1 gallon, or actually bought 2 gallons of the primer, and I did the entire floor in the bus, and I still had some left over. And I actually spilled a bunch on the floor, so some of that up towards the front, if you guys remember that video, was pretty thick. It took me a while to try to spread that out as best I could. But I'm pretty sure 1 gallon will do the entire roof. And I'm going to paint the white. It's not really white. It's like almost an eggshell, off-white. But in the camera it looks white, just because the sun was so stinking bright on it. It's actually called Luxury Linen, and it's like almost like a Rust-Oleum type paint base that we mixed it in. But yeah, I mean, the guy was like, this is a totally custom deal. He said, if you want another gallon of this, you need to actually bring the can in with you or take a picture of that label, and it will get you that exact mix. That's the best way to do it, rather than, taking, I don't have the card for that color, but here's a card that I do have. This color right here, I think it's, let's see. Yeah, the color right here in the middle is the color I'm thinking about painting the bottom half of the bus. But the more I look at this, I'm kind of leaning towards that one right here that my pinky's pointing at right there. That one is called Sea Swell, and the one in the middle is called Tantalizing Teal. It's backwards, and the other one, it looks like it says Simply Aqua. But I'm kind of digging that darker color. After painting the tub and looking at it, it's just a little bit lighter. When it was in the house and I painted it, I loved that color when it was in the house. I brought it outside and it got in the sunlight, and I was like, it's a little bit brighter than I really like. I mean, I still like it. It's kind of that classic color. But, for the outside of the bus, I don't know. And it looks darker on camera than it does in real life. I don't know. What do you guys think? I want like a turquoise color, but I just can't figure out the shade that I want. I want a dark turquoise. And this right here, that looks more green in real life. Like on the camera, I like the color it looks on the camera. But when I'm looking at it in person with my eyes, it looks like just a few shades from forest green. Yeah, I don't really want to do forest green. I like forest green, but I don't really want to do the bus in forest green. The other thing is I want to do a light enough color that I can eventually maybe go and get a graphic put on with, like you see a lot of buses now with a tree, like a skyline on there. I would like to do that because that really makes your bus kind of stand out. I don't know. I may just do some stripes, some wide black stripes or something down the bus to kind of break it up a little bit. Maybe do a black stripe so far back, and then have like a mountain scene, or mountains with a lake or something like that. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. I seen another bus out there that was like a dark red with black stripes, and I think it had a white roof on it. It was really nice looking, but red just isn't really my color. Don Lee said, therefore I stand by my comment. LOL. Motocross chick, you may be able to use metal snaps to attach curtains. Yes. And eventually I would love to put copper pipe up here, but I looked at the price of that stuff and it's a little bit spendy. That's something I'm going to have to wait and maybe do a little bit later. So when I make the curtains, I want to make the top of it where you fold it over. I don't know what you call it, but you fold it over and then sew that. And maybe even possibly, I don't think I really want to cut it out. I don't know. But yeah, the easy way would probably just do the metal snaps that you screw into the metal and snap the curtains on. You can basically rivet that in the material. That would probably be the easy thing to do. And then have snaps where when you roll it up, you can just snap it in place. That's why I haven't put anything on this right here. The other reason I haven't put anything on that is because I can take the screws out, and if I want to run electrical inside that channel right there, I can take each one of these panels down. I can run my electrical back and forth right there behind that panel. And maybe I'll put wood over that, but I'm thinking there's probably going to be some open shelving up there in that area. Possum Run said, dang, everyone's going live at the same time. You, MT Homestead, LG are both live right now. Really? What's MT Homestead live right now for? I didn't. Today's Friday morning. Well, it's actually afternoon now. It's 12:20. Let's see. MT Homestead have gone live for their journey to the Okie meet. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Yeah, I won't be going live tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of people live tomorrow from the Okie Homestead. I might be watching some of that. I think, yeah, Tim from Ridge Life is going. Man, like Drew from Dutch Creek Cabin, SLR, Country Road Cure is going to be there. I'm pretty sure like a bunch of people is going to be there. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be here working on the bus and probably watching videos. So I get to see what it's like on the other side now, just watching the videos. But I really, really, really want to go to the Shoot Dang Fest. That is like, if that's all I do this year on going and doing stuff, I got to do that. Paul Honeyman said, sorry, David. I'm also nipping over to MT's live. Stay safe, everyone. All right. We'll see you later, Paul. Gonna go over and say hi to MT, then go watch the Lice Goth birth at LG. Y'all have a great day. Awesome. I might go over there and check that out. Dadgum flies. Boy, I tell you what, that's one thing I didn't think about is flies. I'm going to have to make some screens that I can put in these windows. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I got to. That's going to be interesting to figure out how to make some screens, some frames or whatever, to where I can actually have windows open and some screens in here. Stephen Carlson, praying for everyone on this YouTube channel. Family, love you so much, everyone. David, Hood's Custom Shop. How much are you paying for diesel gas for heater inside your bus? Right now I'm not having to run it very much. I have a space heater in here, and that's plugged in through a extension cord in the house. But when it's not keeping up, every now and then I'll turn that on. I don't have to have it running on high. Now, I think tomorrow it's supposed to get cold. I can feel it's already cooling off in here right now a good bit. And I think we're supposed to have a nice little cold front come through, possibly some snow or something. But if it does snow, I don't think it'll stick at all. It's been a little bit warm. But yeah, for 5 gallons, it cost me like $25 thereabouts. It's I want to say last time I bought diesel was like $4.89 a gallon, something like, or $4.79, something like that. Tiny Tim said, gotta run. See everybody later. Bye, Tiny Tim. Dark blue. And no, I like blue, but I am not going to paint my bus blue. Chris Reed said, dark colors make things look smaller. Yeah, this bus is big. uh, Man, I don't know. This, like that color in the middle, I like it. It just seems a little bright. And I'm leaning more towards that darkest one there. Uh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Because whatever color I paint it, I don't plan on ever having to repaint it. So whatever I paint it, I'm going to have to stick with. I might actually, uh, you know, talking with Morris Patch of Heaven, they asked me if maybe I could maybe want to build them a bus when I'm done with this one. Um, I might talk to them and see if maybe they would be interested in this bus. If they are, we could end up changing the paint scheme, because if I'm just going to end up selling it to them, I might as well build it, to their specs and paint it how they want. So I don't know. They may want a totally different floor plan for their lifestyle or whatnot. I don't want to like totally change this one here, but it is not cheap at all. A lot of people have a misconception that building a bus is cheap. I mean, you can do it on the cheap. You can just buy a bus and tear the seats out and live in it. Throw a cot in there and a propane heater, whatever, you can make do with that. But yeah, you kind of want those creature comforts and everything. And the more creature comforts you put into it, like it seems like everything you do ends up costing $1,000. Putting a heater in, the heater was like 200 and something dollars, I think. Then getting the fittings for it, the water pump is a couple $100. The water tank is a couple $100. Getting the exhaust for it and the tools and everything to cut a hole in a roof. Just every little thing. When you start really figuring up every little thing, like I had to buy a jigsaw to do a lot of this stuff, like to cut that radius in that piece of plywood. You need a jigsaw to be able to do that, and I didn't have a jigsaw that was worth using. So I bought one that actually helped me with putting the flooring in, the plywood for that. You need plywood, and I've been fortunate enough to actually, the plywood that's in here, I had to go buy that from Lowe's, and so I ended up paying full price for it. I did use thinner plywood than most people use, mainly because, you have the steel floor on the bottom, and that gives you all the support you need. I use the rigid foam. That weight displacement on that when you step on it is fine. Just put some plywood over that to keep from denting it, right? And then the flooring, the laminate flooring we put down on top of that was pretty expensive. But yeah, the plywood sheet for this wall that I built, I actually went to a place here in town in Goodman that's called Upwork. It's Upwork LLC. It's a lot like Habitat for Humanity. You can go there. They have stuff that they sell a lot cheaper than like Lowe's or anything. It's literally stuff that is from Lowe's. I can go in there and they've got hundreds of gallons of paint that came from like Lowe's or whatever, that was mismixed or whatever. And you can get that. I want to say it's like $5 or $10 a gallon. Just all kinds of different colors and stuff. They just didn't have the paint I wanted for the exterior, for the roof and stuff. I know a lot of people said, why don't you paint this piece right here? Well, I actually have some pine that I'm considering covering that right there. It's about 9 inches or so tall. I actually resawed it on my mill the other day, and it's up in the shipping container right now, staying dry. That's another thing I had to put up last night. It was on my log arch trailer from milling it, and I didn't think we had rain in the forecast anytime soon. Well, we got rain last night, so I had to hurry up and put a bunch of stuff up. But I'm thinking about possibly putting that pine right here as kind of like a baseboard or trim piece, and then we'll also put some shelving up there. Let's see. Motocross chick says the color of the bathtub. Yeah, the color of the bathtub is that middle one right there, the tantalizing teal. Yeah, I probably should stick with that instead of changing it. I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, eh. I like it, but when I start thinking about putting that on the outside of the bus, I'm like, it's a little bit, it's just a few shades lighter than what I really was wanting. Um, Gene Ackland said, I used to make towel curtains for our camper. Worked great. Unfortunately, the windows in the bus are a little bit wide for doing like towel curtains, I think. Or, well, hand towels. I guess a towel would work. But the towel, the towel material, like hand towels or towels, doesn't hold up well to UV light. And I think that's why my grandma was actually making them pretty often, every few years, because the UV light was just breaking them down. Stephen Carlson, love you so much, Dave from Hood's Custom Shop. Love you too, Stephen Carlson. Third one on the color theme. Let's see. Paper that you, okay, yeah. Yep. Been on here for 2.5 hours. I think it's about time for me to hop off here and see if I can get some stuff done. I looked outside and it is misting rain again. So, yeah, I think that pretty well is going to keep me from cutting a hole in the roof today. I'd rather work on that on a nice, warm, sunny day. So I think I'm probably going to start on getting it laid out for where the heater's going. I'll probably see if I can start putting some wood on that wall for the accent wall, finish framing it out. There's lots of other things I can do. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here and go see what MT Homestead is up to real quick and then get to work. So thank you guys so much for hopping in here. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.